Now, a Russian politician has been found dead in India's Odisha state after a mysterious fall from a hotel.
The 66-year-old Pavel Antov was in India with his friends for his birthday celebrations.
A sensational twist has emerged in the mysterious deaths of two Russian tourists in Odisha's Raigad district. It has now surfaced that Pavel Antov, one of the deceased, was a Russian lawmaker, a businessman, and a Putin critic.
Here's the dark reality of becoming a billionaire in Russia. You may have heard of the strange and tragic deaths of some of the most successful and powerful businessmen in the country, but do you know why this is happening? Well, let's explore together. It all began with Pavel Antonov, a Russian oligarch who flew to India to discuss multi-billion-dollar deals with his business partners. Unfortunately, his partner Vladimir Bidinov died of a heart problem just a few days later. And then, shockingly, Antonov himself fell off his hotel window and died. At first, it may seem like a coincidence, but it's not. Bidinov had no history of heart problems, and Antonov's sudden death raises questions. Sadly, it's not just them. Several other successful business people who either made billions of dollars through close connections to Putin or criticized him have died in strange and unexplainable ways. Why would billionaires who have spent years building their empires and securing their wealth suddenly jump out of windows to end their lives? Are there things we don't know, or did someone push them? The answer lies in the fact that to become a billionaire in Russia, you don't go into business, you go into politics. Politics gives you power, and power gives you money, and money makes you rich. But the path to power is not easy, and the price of betrayal is steep. For example, the Magomedov brothers made their fortune through close connections with the Kremlin. They were financing Putin's press secretary's lavish lifestyle and other high-ranking officials. But they became overconfident and cut a contract with another government-linked company. The CEO of that company was a close friend of Putin, who immediately informed him. The next day, the brothers were arrested, their assets seized, and they were jailed for 19 years. It's not just in Russia. In countries like Saudi Arabia, the richest man is the king, but you won't find him on the Forbes list. If billionaires start massively selling off their shares, the price will start plummeting immediately. So if you're planning on becoming a billionaire in Russia, you better have a strong stomach and an unbreakable will. The price of power and wealth in Russia is steep, and there are no guarantees. The deaths of Russian billionaires linked to the Kremlin are not coincidences, but a harsh reality of power and wealth in Russia. If you want to become a billionaire, you need to have connections with Putin. But if you speak against him or betray him, you might end up dead. But what are the broader implications of this phenomenon? Wealthy individuals being targeted in this manner is a clear indication of a lack of rule of law and an absence of a healthy business environment in Russia. It also highlights the danger of having too much power concentrated in the hands of a few individuals, in this case, the political elite. Now let's compare this to the situation in the United States. While there are certainly cases of corruption and undue influence, the American system generally operates under the rule of law and the principle of equal opportunity. The path to wealth and success in the U.S. is primarily through building a successful business. While connections and influence can certainly help, they are not the primary driver of success. This is why the Forbes list is dominated by entrepreneurs and business leaders who have built successful companies through innovation and hard work. While there are certainly cases of wealthy individuals being targeted for crimes, it is not a widespread phenomenon like it is in Russia. So, what does this mean for aspiring entrepreneurs and business leaders? It means that while there are risks and challenges in any business environment, it is important to strive for a healthy, competitive system that operates under the rule of law. Building a successful business is hard enough without having to worry about political influence or personal safety. However, the story of Russian oligarchs being targeted for speaking out against Putin or falling out of favor is not just a cautionary tale for those seeking power and wealth through close connections with politicians. It also highlights the dangers of concentrated power and lack of rule of law. In Russia, the political elite holds immense power, and those who speak out or are perceived as threats to their interests are ruthlessly eliminated. The deaths of Russian billionaires linked to the Kremlin reflect a clear absence of a healthy business environment and a lack of a fair playing field. The concentration of power in the hands of a few individuals poses a threat to economic stability and social justice, which ultimately affects the entire nation. In contrast, the United States operates under the rule of law, and equal opportunity is highly valued. Building a successful business is primarily based on innovation and hard work, and while connections and influence can help, they are not the main driver of success.